Hey, welcome to Breaking Bread, hosted by me, Krong Chocolate, a show where we break verbal bread with the quote-unquote enemy. Whenever Manchester City has an upcoming match, I will be here having a conversation with the supporter of City's upcoming opponents. Shout out to all our Patreon members, you beautiful subscribers, you enjoying our full episode, getting all this ad-free episodes, early drops of our weekly episodes. You're a real one. Subscribing, helping the podcast. I was going to say helping the club grow, helping the podcast grow in only a way that you can. For all you people still watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, any of those streaming platforms, we're only getting 11 minutes of this. Maybe you should think about subscribing. Check the link in the episode description. Hit that, subscribe, enjoy this full episode. We have a wonderful episode for you today, Shady Gang. It is insane how you can go, 60, 80, 85 years without ever playing a squad. And they're right there, really. And then all of a sudden, 2 years in a row, back to back, we face them in the FA Cup. It's hilarious like that. Sometime we are bringing our friends back to chat it up. He reached out to me. I felt very honored. I was like checking the messages on X, and he's like, "Hey, it appears we see each other yet." I actually hadn't saw the draw quite yet, so I was like, "Okay,
there you go." How keen was I?
I knew exactly who we were facing, and it made me. That was one less thing I had to look up. Let's just say it that way. So,
Fab.
Shout out to one up front, Salford, the one who taught me how to properly say Salford. I was being a
no
gross American
today. Yeah,
I was being a gross American saying Salford.
That's it. It was my wife, wasn't it, last time, who said, "Tell him next time you speak to him." Yes. It's said with an O, which you've done it all the time. Happy joy, happy days.
Oh my gosh, how are you? It's good to see you again.
I'm rocking and rolling. Yeah, just to talk a little bit about before we even drew you, in the game that we beat a team, Rotherham, maybe, I think. And it was a tight game. I was thinking, do we want to play City again? Do we not? And it was for things like this, as well as turning up to the Etihad, whatever the result is, we'll get into all that it's a big day out for us, Mm-hmm. The one thing I will say that's different this year is because we've been retaken over a massive investment of cash, we don't actually need the money this time. Last time it was kind of a real big help for our season. We're splashing the cash like it's going out of fashion, but I can get to all that later. But yeah, I'm pleased to be playing you, if only to speak to yourself, turn up at the Etihad. We'll see what the result is later on. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay, I mean, might as well talk about this next, I guess. All right. What is this injection of cash? Like, who is this new ownership group?
Have you heard of someone called David Beckham? Have your listeners aware of David Beckham? Yeah, okay. So David Beckham, like world superstar, he's always been linked to our ownership group because he was big friends with Gary Neville, who was basically took us. The reason why Man City and Salford City have never played up until recently was because we were always about 8 divisions below Man City, even when you plummeted through the league. So we've always been like a non-league entity until 7 years ago. So the takeover was because our previous billionaire, Peter Lim, who may still own Valencia, but he walked away after 10 years at Salford and said, "I'm moving on." So we were left with a big gap in our bank balance. And Beckham got in touch with a lot of his associates in India, in America. Investors have come in, and the way they backed us in the lead up to this transfer window has been shocking. We've never bought players to this degree. So the team you will see this time around at least will cost a lot more than the last team that you played. So that will be a difference.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm sure that's added a nice little injection to the fan base. Going from a non-league team to now where you sit where you sit at in League Two. You're in
Yeah.
that promotion playoffs position. Like,
We are.
yeah, how has that experience been? Being able to like experience like promotion after promotion after promotion, and now in the talks of possibly another one.
Yeah, I mean, we've been stagnant for ever since we arrived in League Two, and just to confirm, that's the fourth division in our pyramid. So it's Premier League's the top, and we're in the fourth tier, and it's a smell of it. That's all I will say. Until it reached May, it's only a smell of promotion. There was a team last year in our league who were about 15 points clear in January, and they dropped like a stone, didn't even get into the playoffs. So I don't get carried away. I'm quite a level-headed fella, so I'm excited. I think we've got a good team, and I think it'll be if we play our strongest team against you. I'll go into all that later on. We'll talk about lineups, etc. I think it'll be more of a competitive fixture than you saw last season. That's the hope. I feel we are a better squad than we were last time. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we scored 8 on you, so I would
I know.
assume you would do better than that.
I know.
It was wild looking at that squad from last because there was like Grealish there, and I was like, oh wow, like that seems like forever ago when he left, and he legitimately just left this season. It's insane.
Doku was the problem. I think I told you that. Doku just embarrassed us. He just made me realise that the gap between these two divisions is worlds away. Because at the time, I think he was getting a bit of criticism, maybe from your fan base, but he just opened us up like a cold sore. It was horrific. So, but he did well. He did his job.
Yeah, he did, and he won't be available for this match.
All right.
He is injured, and I think he still has a couple of weeks to go because he got injured. It was the week after the United game, and that last time he was injured, he was gone for like 3 weeks, and they said it's a very similar situation, about the same length. I think we'll see him maybe the end of February. So you got that going for you.
Semenyo, maybe. I don't know. Would he possibly be playing in that position on the wide left? Maybe. Would that be right?
So it'll either, yeah. I mean, he can play on the left or the right. Marmoush played on the left yesterday against Liverpool, and then we have Shirky who can play on the right. But lately, he's kind of been playing centrally. It will be very interesting because City have sent away a few of our younger players who were playing for City in some of these FA Cup games, but we're now in the part of the competition where not necessarily you're going to take it more serious, but you might play a surprisingly strong squad instead of rotating. But we still have, we just called back Severe Naipan from Middlesbrough. I believe that's where he was at because they got a new manager and he just wasn't playing him, and it was a waste of time. He's been playing with our U21 squad because he's 19. He's still very young.
Oh, okay.
And then we brought back Max Allian. He was at Watford. So those are probably two of the players who might get starts against you two. But for the most part, I think it's going to be, well, there's no really other like young players that we can play at the moment. You're going to get a surprisingly strong squad. Yeah, for sure.
Exciting.
Yeah. Let's get past the already because there's because of the change and everything with the players. Let's talk a little bit about that. I guess who were maybe some of the key players who were brought in to Salford that I guess have helped the club experience some success and winning some games, because I see you've won 3 of your last 5, which is pretty. That's what any team would want to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, it also shows our inconsistency because the other 2 games have been pretty abysmal. But to concentrate on the positives, because we have brought some good players in. The highest profile of those are both strikers, so it's it's not necessarily kind of an even spread of butter throughout the team. It's kind of, we've seemed to have gone heavy up front. One of the strikers cost us £600,000, which for us, by far our biggest transfer ever. And the previous player to that was brought in a few months before. He was 325 grand. So, because we never, that's again, going back to that team that you saw last season, it was all recruited. It was either loans, young players, or players who were out of contract. We never paid up front for players because we couldn't really afford to. So if you think about having a £1 million strike force in our division, that's quite high going. So they are two, if we choose to play our best starting 11 against you, which we may do, because we actually played last Thursday, so we've not played this weekend. So we've got like a week and 3 days recovery before we actually face you. So I think I'll talk predictions later on, but there's a chance that all players who are returning from fitness will be back, and we may play our stellar 11, which would be great to see.
No, that's exciting. I guess that would be the next chance conversation, because it's big bad city, but that's also the beauty of cup competitions like the Carabao and the FA Cup is you get these David versus Goliath situations, and we have seen a lot of upsets over the last. Even this season we saw a lot of upsets. Their City have been